You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Wednesday, February 18th. I'm Maria Lisignoli.
And I'm Johnny Kahner. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story today. Minnesota and federal authorities are investigating the alleged beating of a Mexican citizen by immigration officers. We told you about this case back in January, where Alberto Castaneda Mondragon suffered from 8 skull fractures. Now, investigators are working to learn how that happened. St. Paul police and FBI investigators canvassed the shopping center parking lot where Castaneda Mondragon says ICE agents repeatedly hit him in the head with a steel baton. ICE, meanwhile, blames the man for his injuries, saying he attempted to flee while handcuffed and hit his head against a concrete wall. But hospital staff who cared for Castaneda Mondragon told the Associated Press a fall like that couldn't account for the injuries he has.
Number 2, today there was a Senate committee hearing on the impact of Operation Metro Surge in schools. The Senate Education Committee heard from school board members, superintendents, parents, teachers, and staff. They all spoke about how the ICE surge impacted day-to-day school operations, including attendance records, student mental health, and more. Today's hearing comes as Minnesota school districts are still missing students as ICE fears continue. And missing students means these schools could start losing funding. Yesterday, monitors patrolling the streets around Columbia Heights Public Schools reported seeing 3 agents. With agents still around, the school is down about 130 students. That's according to the Columbia Heights superintendent. That would equate to a loss of about $2 million in expected funding for the next school year. The superintendent, Zena Stenvik, spoke about the ICE impact at the hearing this morning.
Our school district has been massively impacted by the actions taken by DHS and ICE in our community over the last several weeks. Several students have been pulled over on their way to school. Dozens of our parents have been detained. 7 of our students were taken during this surge, and 6 of them were taken within hours, flown to the Dilley Detention Center in Texas. As of last week, we had 2 students still in the detention center in Texas. I learned yesterday that our 11th grader and her mother were deported back to their home country. And she had been with us since middle school. So really big loss for our school community.
Number 3, 2 years ago today, 3 first responders in Burnsville were shot and killed on the job. Police officers Matthew Ruge, Paul Elmstrand, and firefighter-paramedic Adam Finseth made the ultimate sacrifice during a standoff at a home. Overnight, blue and red lights lit up Burnsville City Hall in their memory. 2 vases of flowers were placed outside the police station. 3 wreaths were also on display there today for the public to pay their respects to the slain first responders.
Number 4, environmental advocates are sounding the alarm as a proposal to overturn a mining ban in the Boundary Waters is now steps closer to reality. The United States Senate is set to vote on overturning a 20-year mining ban in Cook, Lake, and St. Louis counties. Former President Joe Biden signed the protection during the end of his time in office. But in January, the House of Representatives narrowly passed the bill. It was introduced by Republican Representative Pete Stauber. Today, advocates at the Minnesota State Capitol say it cannot move any farther. Adam Duxter is at the Capitol, and he heard from U.S. Senator Tina Smith.
Senator Smith, joined by other lawmakers as well as environmental advocates and outfitters from up in the Boundary Waters, all kind of echoing the same message, which is that they do not want to see this bill go through the U.S. Senate. Their main concern is that if it does, there are at least 1 mining group from out of the country that would move in and begin mining. And their main concern with that is the potential and possibility for pollution, as well as destruction potentially to what has been protected lands up until this point. Now that vote goes before the U.S. Senate next week, and Senator Smith says she's working on rallying U.S. Senate Republicans to join her side to block the bill. She and others say at least 1 foreign mining group has already shown interest in mining this area. And mining groups, though, and advocates say any projects that would go through would be heavily regulated and vetted. But today, Smith and others say it's not a deal they want to see go through.
We appreciate that mining is crucial to our economy and our national security and our way of life, but that is not what this mine is about. This mine is about a very well-connected foreign mining conglomerate, Antofagasta. It wants to develop this mine, dig up the copper, leave us with the mess, then send the metal most likely to China, and then sell it back to us or whoever is willing to pay the highest price.
And this vote goes before the U.S. Senate next week. Coming up tonight on the news at 5, I'll share what mining advocacy groups in Minnesota have to say about these oppositions, as well as next steps and a timeline moving forward.
Those are your 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our next weather forecast.
Hi, I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. We do have some snow moving through tonight. It should be wrapping up though overnight. Tomorrow will be dry with a high of 37.
And now, here's more to know.
An overnight fire at the memorial for Renee Good in South Minneapolis. Connor White was there and describes the scene.
Now, a witness says it's clear to him this was arson. He found gas canisters and evidence that gas was poured on that fence and other parts of the memorial as well. Tonight on WCCO, we'll bring you details from what he saw and what police are saying.
It's day 2 of the legislative session at the state capitol. As for day 2, it's back to work with a full agenda for lawmakers. The focus for today is expected to be largely centered around the impact of the ice surge in Minnesota. Democrats are planning to introduce a number of bills to address concerns related to the federal immigration operation. These will cover hot-button issues like ICE agents' access to schools and rental assistance for those impacted by ICE operations. Republicans are also introducing bills to protect public safety officers' personal information and to stop protests outside of someone's home. We'll bring you the latest from the state capitol in our later newscasts and online at WCCO.com.
The Boss is coming back to Minnesota.
Down Nicollet Avenue, the city of flame, for fire and ice, 'neath an occupier's boots.
Just weeks after performing this new song about the unrest in Minneapolis, Bruce Springsteen announces he's coming back. This time it will open his Land of Hope and Dreams tour at Target Center on March 31st. Tickets to see Springsteen go on sale this Friday.
And he's not the only one writing about the unrest in Minneapolis. The band U2 released a song today that pays tribute to Renee Good as part of a new 6-track EP. The song is called American Obituary. The lyrics mentioning Good are, quote, Renee Good, born to die free. American mother of 3. 7th day, January, a bullet for each child. You see the color of her eye. 9:30 Minneapolis. To desecrate domestic bliss. 3 bullets blast, 3 babies kissed. Renee, the domestic terrorist, end quote. And that last line there included 3 question marks.
A community-led initiative is asking people to support Minnesota restaurants today. The Salt Cure Fund is a new recovery fund formed in response to Operation Metro Surge. They aim to support Minnesota's hospitality industry. Today, they're hosting a National Day of Giving, and they're hoping to raise $1 million. People can donate, but they're also asking restaurants nationwide to donate a portion of proceeds from today. Money will then be given to the restaurants in need.
Some Twin Cities food shelves are bracing for another increase in demand. First, due to federal immigration actions, and then from the start of Ramadan today. Issaroon runs a food shelf with culturally specific halal and kosher foods. They're asking the community for financial donations and food to help the growing number of people who have lost income during Operation Metro Surge. The food shelf's CEO, Fartun Welly, says as the demand increased, they've seen the community really come and step up.
What happened was an opportunity to see how far in one community, trying to destroy one community can ignite the conscience of the larger society.
Ramadan begins today. It is the holiest month in Islam when Muslims fast from sunup to sundown.
Today is Ash Wednesday, and that's the start of the Christian season of Lent. This morning in Prior Lake, some parishioners of Shepherd of the Lake Lutheran Church took part in a drive-through ashes event. They didn't have to get out of their car to have the pastor apply ashes to their foreheads. There were some walk-ups, too. Pastor Lila Barr placed ashes in the sign of the cross and said, quote, "Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return."
The message is that God is with you. You come from God. God is with you all through this life, and you return to God when this life is over. And so it's such a beautiful gift to be able to connect with people in this way.
The pastor said they started doing drive-through ashes before COVID, but it really took off during COVID, so now they still do it.
We have new details on what happened last night at AutoZone in Brooklyn Park. Police say an employee of that business was shot around 9 o'clock last night and transported to a hospital in critical condition. This auto parts store is on Brooklyn Boulevard. A K-9 helped in the search for the shooter, and a Minnesota State Patrol helicopter was also brought in to look for suspects. No one was arrested, and police do not have a motive for the shooting.
Let's get to sports headlines. It is a big day for the U.S. men's hockey team. They play Sweden in the quarterfinals this afternoon. And Maria, I'm really excited to watch this game because I'm a huge Minnesota Wild fan, for one. Of course. Always cheering on Team USA. But 7 Wild teammates are playing in the game, 3 on the U.S., 4 on Sweden.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
That's going to be such a fun rivalry.
It's going to be crazy. And Canada just won today in overtime. So it's really heating up. And then as for the women's, they play Canada tomorrow in the gold medal game.
Oh my gosh, that one I truly can't wait for. I'm going to give it to USA.
You're adamant they're winning.
I am. I truly believe it. They've given up only 1 goal this entire Olympics.
It's been domination.
Yeah.
And the girls hockey state tournament officially underway in St. Paul. And there's one team that's excited for their first return to St. Paul in 6 years. They're the Breck Mustangs. They are in Class Single A as the number 2 seeds. 25 wins under their belt this season. And get this, they are also an unusually young team. They have 13 underclassmen. And their starting goalie got a shutout in the section championship. She's only a freshman. It's pretty impressive. And with that longevity, sophomore forward McKenna Schliemann hopes this is the beginning of many more trips to St. Paul in the postseason.
But when I go out there, I'm just going to be like looking up, looking in the crowd, just like, whoa, this is really cool. And like being one of the 8 teams here, it's just such a cool opportunity because our season's not over, and like seeing everybody else's season end, it's just we're very lucky and just shows that we're such a good program now and we deserve the respect.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
We think of playtime being for kids, but new research shows adults who are playful can lead healthier, happier, and less stressful lives. And Johnny, I can see that being the case because, I mean, gosh, what's life without a little play, right?
What's life without dads going like super hard in like a wiffle ball game at the cabin? You know?
My gosh, yes.
Ultra competitive.
Yes. And that just brings me life thinking about that. But, it not just for kids, it can help you like cope with stress, according to this new research study.
You know, and I'm 25, so I'm younger than most adults probably listed in this study. But like I play with a bunch of adults in like beer league and things like that and hockey. It's so fun just to get out, you know, still get in the locker room and whatnot. Like it's a good way to kind of bring you back to your roots. Absolutely.
And you're really good about that. You make the time to actually go and play games and do it every week, which is not always as easy for a lot of people. So it doesn't have to be anything like joining a hockey league, but it can be even just like a mindset, according to the study. You don't have to have like, you know, a board game in front of you. You just have to kind of encourage curiosity and most importantly, social interaction.
Social interaction is key.
It
Absolutely.
is.
There's nothing better than seeing your friends after work or something like that instead of just going home and doing nothing.
Which also sounds appealing, though. You know, like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to see anyone after work. But I think it is important to try to get that into your life, you know. Okay, this is interesting. According to this study, cities, like the design of a city can often encourage play for kids, right? But not necessarily adults. So some examples of maybe incorporating design into cities that could be more playful for everyone is having oversized steps, interactive seating, or winding paths. Just, like inviting exploration.
Getting out in nature a little bit.
Exactly. And that's honestly, for me, going on walks in nature is like playing, because that's what I would do as a kid. I would just go and explore the woods,
And
you know?
have a dog now, too.
Exactly. So helps.
Is
definitely.
Phoebe good with other dogs?
Yeah, she
Really?
is. She's really not that bad. So
A model
when she
citizen.
plays, I play. Encourages that social interaction, right? Oh, well, hey, get outside, go play. Well, maybe don't go outside today because it's going to be kind of snowy. But you know what? Go talk with
Go do something.
Go do something, right? Go play. Thanks for listening to 4 Things to Know with Johnny Kahner. I'm Maria Lisignoli. We're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.